I'd like to use this channel as almost like scrapbooking diary of all my creative thoughts and experiences. Because when you talk about something, it helps to clarify it in your mind. Well, it does for me anyway. And to be honest, my husband and family are probably sick of hearing me talk about art, my ideas, or what I've seen. So here is a nice place to talk things through for myself, so that I can process and share what I've experienced. It's so yeah, hopefully it might make sense in the end. So my sculptures are about our connection to the earth and how important that is, that sort of symbiotic relationship we have, and also how we use rituals and ceremonies as a way to help us feel connected to the earth, to ourselves, to each other, and maybe to a spiritual higher power, depending on what you believe in. And part of those, and often central to those ceremonies, are the natural element. Places like Stonehenge, the Wailing Wall, all of these kind of sacred places, and natural stone, and obviously in rituals and ceremonies there's many natural elements used, water, fire, because those elements are so central to our rituals and ceremonies. It highlights the importance of our connection to the earth, because we are all part of the same natural world. We are all born of Mother Earth, and we will return to Mother Earth. And it's this relationship that I explore in my sculptures. So yes, in creating, the excitement for me comes in the part where the material and the ideas start to come together, and then it's up to me to uncover that potential. It's an exciting sort of line to walk. But when it does start to work, cool, that's the rush. I find, the potential really exciting. It doesn't always work out. It's sometimes I'll work through ideas and then realize, oh no, that's no good. But I enjoy that. I get excited by all the possibilities, and clay is really good for that, because there's so much that you can do with it. There's textures, there's the alchemy that happens in the kiln. So yeah, it's kind of, I enjoy that sort of collaboration with the material. And working in this way, you can't be afraid of failure, because that's all part of it. As many people say, the road to success is paved with failures, and sometimes that's also part of the fun, working through the failures and seeing some things are just discarded because it just didn't work, never going to work. And sometimes actually, even when I've had a failure and I've put it to one side because it's just not worked and followed another path, sometimes it's really those ideas, they're still there. That experience of having that failure and whatever I was trying to do at the time are still there, and sometimes actually years later it will come back into play. So nothing is ever wasted. That's also really exciting when I'm sort of working on something, and then the other idea kind of suddenly presents itself as being relevant, or it could work in this way, whereas perhaps previously when I was trying to do something with it, it wasn't working in that way. So yeah, I don't fear failure. We just get up, we roll. So yeah, that's kind of how I like to work anyway. Sort of, yeah, I don't design and then create the design. I kind of work discovering what needs to be. I also want to share any exhibitions that I see, because I love going to see exhibitions. I love art galleries and museums. It's my favorite day out. So I like to document that, and then I've got something to look over as well. Yeah, I mean those kind of days, they're just the best. I still remember the first ever major exhibition I went to see. I was about 15, maybe 15, and my dad took me to the National Portrait Gallery in London, and we saw a Maggie Hamling exhibition of huge paintings of Max Wall, the comedian Max Wall, and I can still visualize it now, and how just amazing they were, and the scale of them. They were kind of like bigger than life size, and all her marks, her gestural marks in her painting. It really impacted me. And yeah, so I find that those, yeah, I've got many memorable exhibitions that I can think about and look back on, and still feel what they made me feel then. It's yeah, it's very powerful stuff, and so I want to kind of document it and share it, and you know, yeah, maybe you will be inspired as well. So yeah, if you want to follow along, what you'll discover is that my creativity is not linear. It's messy, it's somewhat disjointed at times. That's how I work, and I think, you know, in the past I have felt like, you know, maybe I need to do maybe like what I see other artists do. It looks like a continuous, lovely flow. But that's not how I work, and I've accepted that now. And yeah, my creativity is often disjointed, but it kind of comes together in the end. So it's sort of, it'll be an interesting thing to kind of watch how this all will work. And yeah, you can come along for the messy ride.